million square kilometers.
Think of all the homeless people that would now have a home.
Yeah.
On their own little island.
That would actually be so dope.
I can't survive without edible bodies.
I don't know.
How long can we take this before people start to legitimately think, okay, I thought they were joking, but they're really going on this for a while?
How cool would it be, though? Have your own little trash island, middle of the ocean?
It would smell pretty rancid, unfortunately.
You get used to it. You get used to bad smells. If that's the only thing you're around. Also, you know that fresh sea breeze, fresh sea air rolling in.
You notice how sweaty boys and girls don't notice they smell bad?
Yeah.
Because
You get acclimated.
Yeah. Also, a tip for all of you going to a social gathering. Bring some mints, or make sure you brush your teeth beforehand. Because even
Brush
though
your teeth, kids, if you don't want to go to jail, kids.
everybody else can. So,
Everybody.
yeah. I carry, personally, some little Listerine, little strips.
You've
Just in
saved me.
case I've had like a meal that's garlicky or whatever, then pop that in.
Pop that in. That shit burns, but in a good way.
Yeah.
You've saved me many times. I'm like, Ryan, can I borrow one of those strips? And you're like, hell yeah, brother. And when I say borrow, I literally mean it, because after I'm done with it, I pull it back off my tongue and give it to you.
Yeah.
What kind of burn is that? That didn't sound normal.
I need to get air out
That
somehow.
sounded like something trying to escape. like you swallowed like a living creature.
a centipede.
No, like a mammal, like a small furry mammal trying to escape.
Sorry, I was drinking the divine.
Oh, don't do that.
Sorry.
No, you know what happens when you drink. Start drinking some more broth, dude. I'm becoming a broth head over here. You know what I'm saying, dude?
Broth.
Dude,
Are you like I don't eat well enough? Here, I'm gonna start drinking broth to counter that.
Straight out of the fucking box. We need like broth juice boxes, you know?
What's for lunch here on Fridays?
I don't fucking know. I'm just having my broth, dude. Our office, the super mega flex, when we get it, that fridge is gonna be loaded up with broth.
I'm imagining us going like camping, like hiking trip. And you're just drinking out of one of those straws. And like, oh, dude, I have to bring a water bottle. Can I have some of that? You're like, yeah. And I'm like,
It's like spoiled.
it's like warm broth.
It's like warm spoiled chicken broth in my like water backpack. I just loaded it up. It's like, dude, you brought no water? Ryan, bone broth is healthier than water.
This gives me the energy I need.
Look at
to
this.
go on this hike.
It's got 0 grams of saturated fat and trans fat. It's got 0 cholesterol.
Matt, do we have admins for later in the podcast?
We do, yeah.
Okay.
Why?
I'm just mentally preparing myself.
Well, I'm mentally preparing myself for a sip of broth. Oh, that was a big sip of broth right there, brother. And look at this. On the back, it comes with a recipe for 1-pan cheddar mac. That's crazy, dude. Broth makes it better. Summer rice and grains, saute vegetables, mashed potatoes. Well, wait. What? They say mashed potatoes, not mashed. Is that how it's supposed to be said? Mashed potatoes, not mashed?
It's mashed.
I thought it's mashed on here.
But you know, like blank and mash. Mash is like another type of food, I thought.
Fuck this. College in broth. That's the brand I'm drinking. If you guys want to imitate your favorite YouTuber. They mash them, but the potatoes themselves are mashed.
But isn't there like a blank? What's that meal? It's like curds and mash.
Something mashed.
No, that's
sounds very British. Mash, like, oh, you want some mash?
All you Britain nights will tell us.
Brit nights. Speaking of Brit nights, had a fun little night the other night. Went out with Sarah Bonito, Cara Bonito, and some friends. Got some drinks, got some food, walked around, a little bit of coffee. Had a good night.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was super fun. And the night we hung out, you went and you hung out with what's his face?
George Lopez?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty chill. We went to a really nice sushi place. It's actually really good. I can't remember the name of the place, but it's honestly the best sushi I've had in LA.
How was George?
He had like a bag filled with prescription bottles. And he was just kind of, he was tic-tacking.
Probably just a prop
Yeah.
for his show. Hanging around.
He's like, I'm in a new movie and I'm playing a pharmacist. And I said, what's it called?
Where are the shops at?
It's called The Pharmacist. I'm like, oh, cool. So you're playing the pharmacist and the pharmacist. What channel is it on? It was The Pharmacist. I'm like, oh, that's very interesting. You're playing the pharmacist and the pharmacist on the pharmacist channel. And then, okay, so who else stars in it?
No, the shop.
Other pharmacist. I'm like, that's cool, George. You're playing the pharmacist on the pharmacist channel with a bunch of pharmacists. And I asked him, George, do you have any kids? He goes, yeah, they're pharmacists too.
All right, Ryan. It's like the next 30 minutes of the podcast does not even sound like a word anymore.
Pharmacist?
You know, like
Pharmacist?
Pharmacist?
Pharmacist.
The word anymore.
Cyst.
I don't like it. Wait a second. You know, like Daniel Day-Lewis with actors that are really famous. You know, they really take that method acting serious. Not what? Not having like method acting. Like they really get into it.
Yeah, where he like, what was the movie called where they're doing the witch shit? What's that one? He was in that movie and he went and he built his own fucking little cabin and hunted for his own food and shit.
He did?
Yeah, and when he was President Lincoln, he actually hired somebody to shoot him in the back of the head while he was watching.
And that actually, that's great dedication because that they had to halt production on that movie for like 2 years while he had to go through reconstruction, physical therapy and everything. He had to learn how to talk again.
It wasn't even for a scene. It was just like to prepare himself. If Lincoln was shot, how can I portray this man when I haven't been shot in the back of the head? Being serious while being entertained, laughing my ass off.
I know, like back to Brokeback Mountain real quick. If he was cast in like a remake, do you think Daniel Day-Lewis would hit the trails and have some gay sex? If you're just hiking the Appalachian Trail and you run into a dude and you realize you're and you start to come on you, and it's like, hey, I'm in the mood for this role. Will you help me out? Next thing you know, you're getting rammed in the ass. Like, assuming you're fine.
Lewis be the type of guy.
Oops.
Hollywood bastardization of the original story.
More like Daniel Gay Lewis.
Is that what you?
I'm gonna turn this up.
No, but it just clicked when I was talking about that.
Clean linen.
More like, yeah, John. I did that one live. Live.
You did.
Ryan
You also
had to-
broke your tooth.
I did. I shattered my tooth live on
Right
stage.
after I puked.
My crown on my tooth shattered into pieces.
5 pieces.
It was miserable the next 2 days until I got it replaced with a permanent crown. Actually, speaking about on tour, basically, we got a little story. Is Vernon here? Maybe we could bring Vernon in for
Can
this.
you go find Vernon and bring him in?
Go bring him in for this. While I'm gone?
Yeah, I'll put the tabs on it.
No, it's not that I don't trust you, but I will bring it with me just
Yeah.
to be safe. I've seen you eyeing it. The whole podcast, I've seen you eyeing my broth.
It looks good. It looks like really good broth. But unfortunately, you were sick. I do not want to drink after a sick man.
The broth is sterile.
A sick, feeble man such as yourself
Feeble.
would,
I'm drinking broth to fix that problem.
would tarnish that broth and infect it with your disease.
No.
As much as that broth is good.
Broth is sterile.
Broth is sterile.
Broth is sterile.
They're not.
That means no germs can pass through it.
I doubt it.
Take a high school science class, McGee. You know what sterile means?
You know what bears eat? Fish.
Yeah?
Yeah. How do they get the fish from that?
Face in the river?
Sometimes they have to
Swim.
Yes.
You're bringing that back. Okay, you're gonna get mad at me.
Wanna make sure that we're on the
I
same
know
page.
bears swim. I was actually thinking about this the other night. I was like, man, I was stupid when I said that. Because bears do swim.
And horses.
Okay, yeah.
Most animals can swim.
Oh, so I'm getting mad at you, so you just have to bring back an old argument I lost just
Yeah.
to rub it in my face.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. At least you're honest about it.
You want to go get Vernon now?
Yeah, let me have one
Take
more.
your broth.
Let me have one more sip of my broth.
Disgusting disease.
It's not.
broth.
I don't have diseases. I got sick probably from one of you freaks on tour.
Oh,
This guy goes like, I'm super sick, and he shakes our hands. And I'm like, thanks, dude. Sweet.
Some girl sneezed right into my mouth. I just had to go along with it.
It's a pretty funny bit.
Yeah. Shit.
this game's so loud.
Just let it dry. I'll get one of those ice scrapers and
Okay, I
scrape
need
it
to
off
turn this
later.
up loud. Turn my game
Vernon?
down on my end.
Where's Matt?
I don't know.
Oh. Well,
It's already
hey, we're
so
just talking,
quiet.
we're recording the podcast, as you can see with the frames.
Hey,
And I remember there was a story that
yeah,
Wait, how do I get more max HP?
what I gotta do,
What?
Right now?
Yeah, like literally right now.
Is that from eating?
Yeah,
No way.
Be out in like 45 minutes.
Oh, that's fine.
It's almost the perfect amount of time that this podcast will be recorded for and ended.
It's weird how we're
It's-
not like talking like
it's-
we usually talk as friends, but we're like projecting our voices.
It's-
Like, compared on it.
Vernon, it's fine.
Yeah, you have a meeting, I'm sure, buddy.
We'll talk about this next podcast. People are just waiting now. They have to wait a whole
No,
another week.
the thumbnail has to do with it.
Does it?
Yeah.
Did you tell?
Dude, like, let me do this meeting. I'll come back.
Vernon, we're not going to be recording the podcast still.
Really,
You can't. For your best friends?
Vernon, I got broth.
Like, you gotta block off. Why are you eating?
I'm
Drinking.
drinking it. It's healthy.
I gotta go.
Okay. Love you too. I wish you loved us more than business.
Yeah, I wish that... Okay.
Love you, Vernon.
I gotta see if this ups my max HP.
Well, looks like that's gonna have to be recorded later.
I guess so.
Where should we just put it in here? Here's a future conversation. Okay, so you're
No,
done
it
with the
doesn't.
meeting, which you said would be 45 minutes, but only turned out to be about what, 30?
I want you guys to know how much you matter to me,
Aw,
which is a lot.
you matter to us. Vernon is like the single most helpful person when you go on tours. Because whenever something goes wrong,
I don't
it's
know
like
about
it's
that,
like you have
man.
like a little
Like,
it's
there's
like you
Jesus.
do a little Vernon spell, and then all of a sudden it's fixed.
Everything is fixed. Like he has saved our asses so many times. But on the last day of tour, we're driving from Georgia to Orlando.
The last show.
Last
gives
show.
white
Big
bar.
show. Big one. It was like 580 people. It's like we got to
Yeah.
get there. We only had a few hours to
So
get
we
there
got
before
4 of
load in
them.
to load up, set up everything, do a meet and greet, get ready for the show, and we're driving through Tifton, Georgia, and all of a sudden the van starts.
The story actually starts a couple weeks before that. If you want me to like really get into it.
Okay, let's go
Okay,
back.
let's
Let's
hear it.
Okay,
story time with Vernon.
Yeah. So it starts
Wait,
at
hold on. The great breakdown. And see how that can be taken two ways. Your breakdown and the
Uh-oh.
breakdown of a vehicle. The great
Yeah, you just
Vernon's
like the-
great breakdown.
If you take nothing else away from the story, other than never go to Orlando, Florida, it's just like this. Like watch the slow deconstruction of a man, just like the slow being torn apart piece by piece of a human being. It starts at PAX East. I haven't really been to a convention since Dream Daddy came out. Like Dream Daddy was like a big thing and had my own little special mental breakdown for that. And then I was like doing better. Sorry, Matt just showed me his ball.
It was both balls.
Oh, okay.
His ball.
Saying they're small.
No. Anyway,
Yeah, carry on.
so PAX East, like I'm finally like, all right, I'm ready to like go
No.
outside. I'm ready to talk to people. It's gonna be great. I do PAX East, like we fly out to Boston, and then I find out that I have to tour manage another YouTube group directly after that. So I'm going straight from Boston to a show in Boston to New Jersey. And
God's favorite state.
yeah, New Jersey is an awful place, but it's no
that could've hit
Orlando,
me.
Florida. And I was like, all right, this is a little stressful. Like I can deal with stress. Like I don't know, like you guys have I think grown up in a similar way where like if like you take your
Oops.
emotions,
Oh,
you put it in a
gosh.
bottle and you put the bottle on the shelf, right?
course,
like
of course.
yeah, and then you just deal with that later.
You wait
So-
for someone to break in and break all the bottles.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like as I get older, I just realized that like the time between me putting the bottle on the shelf and the bottle falling off the shelf, it's just like the time has gotten like shorter, right? Like because I used to be able to like just put that shit away for years, and
Well,
I'm like,
we're getting
oh,
older. Time goes by fast.
yeah, absolutely. So like, I get one day back in Los Angeles. Like I fly back to Los Angeles. I get one day to hang out with my girlfriend and my cat, and then immediately I fly back out to South Carolina to do the tour with you guys.
Yay.
Hell yeah.
Which is great. I had a really, really fun time, except for the story I'm about to tell you.
Of course.
And we hang out in South Carolina for a bit. I think I'm taking it easy, and then we do like the tour thing, right? Like
Yeah.
so like the tour thing is it's like you guys know it's tough. Like
It's super tough.
you
It's exhausting.
you drive at night, you sleep for a couple hours in like a hotel. You wake up in the morning, you drive some more, you do the show, right?
Yeah.
And as tour manager, yeah, like it's just like if it doesn't fall on anyone else, it falls on you, right? Like so like, you know, like we leave a show, we book a hotel somewhere in the middle, and then, you know, we just drive, and then we wake up and we drive some more. It's not an easy life, because I'm sure you guys know, but like it's fun and
It's exhausting.
fulfilling.
It's nice to explore the cities when you can, but most of the time we don't have enough time to go and walk around the cities that we're visiting.
Right,
We got
absolutely.
to see Nashville a good bit, so that was
Yeah,
nice.
Nashville was cool as hell.
I like Nashville.
But yeah, like just it's cool in the fact that you're always on a schedule, right? Like you always have something to look forward to. Like your mind's like, all right, I just did this, now I got to do this.
Yeah.
And then you do that, and then you're like, all right, what's the next thing? And it's like even like going to sleep is part of a schedule.
Yeah,
so like it's very, very regimented. The night we do Atlanta, right? Like it's a 7-hour drive to Orlando. So what you do as a tour manager, you're like, all right, I'm gonna book somewhere like 3 hours away, and then we're gonna stay there, and then we're gonna like just drive the easy 4 hours the next day. So I booked a place in like Tifton, Georgia, and like I
do it down in Tifton.
Yeah, I'm talking to the production manager, super cool guy at Atlanta. I think his name was Charles.
Love you, Charles.
Yeah, Charles is great. So I'm talking to him afterwards, and he's like, "Oh, where are you guys driving tonight?" I'm just giving him an accent. Like he didn't really have an accent, but like
Charles sounds like a little bit.
yeah, Charles has a bit of a drawl.
Give it a bit of an accent.
Oh, I got another one.
So I tell I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna drive towards Orlando. Like we're probably gonna have to stop off somewhere racist in between, and then like drive the rest of it. And he's like, what, Tifton? I was like, shit, I already booked a hotel there.
And it was quite the place, man.
Yeah, well, like Tifton, like for as much as like Charles talked it up, like Tifton was fine. We stayed at a Holiday Inn there. Like we slept, and we woke up.
Not to mention every pit stop had some sort of Confederate flag memorabilia for sale.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
You ever heard of something called Heritage Not Hate, Ryan?
Just good old Southern boys.
Doing
So-
what Southern boys do.
Boys do what boys do.
So like we wake up in the morning. I honestly didn't realize like how much had been taken out of me at this point, just like being on the road for 3 weeks.
And it's like the last show. It's like
Last
the
show,
one. It's
we're ready to
get done.
do the last one. We just got to make the 4 hours, 5 hours, or whatever to Orlando, Georgia. My least favorite place on earth. Quick aside, I despise Orlando, Florida, and every time I leave Orlando, I say I will never go to Orlando again. If I never go to Orlando again, I will die happy. And invariably, 3 months later, I find myself in Orlando,
It's like
Georgia.
some sick joke that Brent pulls on you. Where it's like, let's send him to Orlando.
No, it's.
It's a Mormon's paradise.
But like, okay, up until this point, like my problem with Orlando was like, it's really hot and there's nothing to do. That was the extent of my of how much I despised Orlando. It was like, what I do whenever I go to
Do
a new
not
city
give
is,
me Nazi.
I Google like the name of the city and then hipster neighborhood, because like look at me, I have tattoos on my arms and I collect vinyl records. Like I know what I am, and like I just want to like find nice coffee. Like have a beer, like
wanna
pet,
plug in,
pet
yeah.
yeah, totally.
The Orlando hipster scene.
Yeah, it's not there, man. It's just not there.
No, it's old people and people that love Disney World.
And the only thing that would make it better for me would be if I saw an alligator. And to this day, for the like 4 or 5 times that I've been like forced against my will to go to Orlando,
I've gone to him. It's like, you motherfucker, you're going to Florida.
I'm like, at least I get to see an alligator. And like you're talking to the Uber drivers and they're like, oh yeah, they're just on the side of the road over there. And like I'd never seen one. I've looked.
Go play in a puddle.
Brandon, you just need to go swimming in
boy.
Orlando. Just find a random
Oh, yeah.
pond. There's a million ponds in Lake.
Yeah, as soon as you're not trying to look for it, it's like a watch pot that never boils,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like as
that's
soon as
what
you're
it
not
is.
looking for an alligator, like you just find one.
And then your arm is down its throat, and you gotta figure out what to do next.
Gotta make it gag.
So-
flip and flop and shit.
So
Anyways,
we're in Tifton, Georgia. We stop off at a gas station before we start the ride. We fill up the we fill up the Sprinter van and we start driving, and then the engine starts puttering. Harrison's driving at the time. I was like so excited to just like sleep on the way to Orlando, because like I barely got any sleep last night.
At
I'm
least I
not.
can just sleep on the road.
Yeah, I'm not a morning person. Like, I'm just gonna like sit in the car and just like conk out while Harrison, a very good driver, drives us to Orlando. And then the engine starts puttering. He's like, hey man, I can't bring it above 65. I'm like, well, that's a problem. Pull it over and let's figure that out. So we pull over the van. I try to start the car. It doesn't work. I'm like, well, shit. I tried a couple more times. It finally starts, and we start driving down the road. And I'm like, all right, Harrison, this is
Yeah.
getting better.
Gamer
I'm gonna need
moment.
you to like find a mechanic, like find the closest mechanic, and he finds one.
Ooh,
Tipton,
yes.
Georgia. And again, Tipton, Georgia is like a one-horse town, man.
Yeah.
Like it is. It's a college town, but like there's not a lot going.
College town?
Yeah, it is, weirdly.
What college is there?
I don't know.
What?
Tifton University.
But yeah, so it's a very one-horse town. It's a college town, so there are some amenities. So like Harrison is able to find the one mechanic shop
Which
that's
is down
open.
like real out in the country.
Yeah,
Like off the
like-
highway, like way down in the country.
I
Right
would-
across from the Southern Pride store.
Yeah, I would describe it as deliverancy,
Yeah,
right?
Yes,
Like,
yes.
so like we end up at the mechanic shop. The guy's super cool. He's like, I can't figure out what's wrong, but there's the only rental car place that's open down the road, and I can drive you guys to it. And he's like, it closes at 12, and I'm like, all right, because it's Tifton, Georgia. We find an Enterprise rent-a-car. And like I want to say the anxiety level's at 3 right now. Like it hasn't even begun, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, I got to get these guys to the show. Like no matter what, we got to get them to the Orlando show. So we go to the Enterprise rent-a-car. I rent you guys a minivan or
Just a
something,
regular
right?
minivan, which we had to cram some boxes.
Oh yeah,
in there.
dude. So I stick you guys in the minivan, and I send you, I send Matt, Ryan, Harrison, and Jackson just on the minivan towards Orlando. So it's
And
just like
you,
me
the
and a broken
player.
down Sprinter bus.
Pushed us off out of the nest. We're on our own.
Yeah,
pitted down the way.
Yeah.
and this entire time I've been training up Harrison to take my job. It's like, all right, this is how you tour manage. This is how you set everything up. So it's very like poetic. Like, go son. It's like
Yeah, you had
this
to
is
push him out of the nest for
Yeah.
the final show.
It's like in Superman when the
Yeah.
dad dies in a tornado and he's like, be good.
Yeah.
He flies away and Superman can't save him because then people would know he's Superman.
yeah. Anyway, so I'm stuck in
Meow.
I'm stuck in Tifton,
What
Georgia,
is this
right?
plot?
I'm like, again, this is off the side of the interstate. It
Aw.
is like me.
It's like the woods, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was dying, dude. My allergies.
Oh,
were-
yeah.
Oh,
You saw me,
I-
Ryan. I had snot dripping down my face.
Yeah, you
I,
shot it out of your nose at one point and just left it there.
I had no tissues. I had to get that out.
It was the mechanic,
Oh, that's
the
cute.
Southern Pride store, like a 99-cent food mart, and then a gas
I know there was
station.
plot to this game.
So I'm just like there, chain smoking cigarettes on the side. Like surprise, this tour got me into smoking cigarettes again. I'm working on
Hard
quitting.
mode unlocked.
we
so
believe in you, buddy.
thank
We
you, man.
believe in you.
Don't listen to this, mom and dad. So I'm there. I'm just like waiting for 2.5 hours. Like
That makes
I'm
it
on
so much
the
more
phone with
sad
the
now.
Van rental place, and they're like, "All right, like I'm trying to find you a tow truck, man. Like I'm trying to find you like a Mercedes dealership to
Oh,
drop
well.
this thing off
Thanks.
at. I gotta
Thanks,
call like 30 minutes
thanks.
later.